Welcome back to the bench, everyone. I just want to introduce to you the next build. We are going to do the AMT USS Enterprise NCC 1701-C. So I picked out this kit. It's the 1/2500 scale series, Cadet series kit. I honestly wasn't really sold on these Cadet series kits when I first saw them. I don't know, it just didn't do anything for me when I saw a box in the store and it had like 4 ships in it, and I was just, kind of turned off by it. But I did do some research on the web, and I found the videos and kit reviews and stuff like that. Give me a minute and we'll open it up and we'll take a look at the parts. Right back. Okay, here we are. We got the parts out of the box. I opened them already to make it easier, but these are the parts. There's not a lot of parts in here. I mean, maybe a dozen parts altogether. There's not a lot. They're molded in like a light powder blue. According to the instructions, this is the correct color for the ship. But then it goes on to say if you wish to paint the ship, paint it white. So anybody want to help me out with the exact color? I'd appreciate it. The base color, that is. I know there's different colors involved, but the base color. Taking a look at this for the scale, it's got some really, so you can see this, some really nice detail in it. I mean, it's raised detail. The lights are recessed. You got the phaser banks here. You've got the grid pattern that gradually gets smaller and smaller as it gets closer to the bridge area. Very intricate, a lot of detail. You've got the escape pods here that are raised. They're very visible. It's really nice. Same with the bottom. Again, if I can catch it just right, you can see the amount of detail there. Again, for a small scale ship, this is very, very nice. One of the things that I don't like about it is when it comes to the hooking of the sprue to the part. It's got these very thick plastic here, so you got to be really careful, and you're gonna have to do some repair work. Another neat thing that AMT did with this, for most of the kits that I've seen out there, Enterprise kits, when you put the bottom, the lower, and the upper saucer sections together, there's usually a seam right down the center that you have to deal with. In this case, there isn't, because you can see the lip is built up here. Okay, you can see it here, and the lower section fits right into it. So there's no seam here. You have a little one here, but depending on how tight it is, it's a lot easier to fix, in my opinion, than the seam down the center. So that's pretty neat. Then we got the rest of the parts here. Again, there's not a lot. You've got 2 sprues with the engine nacelles in it. Bassard collector. It's all one color. There's no clear plastic kit parts. So if you wanted to light this, it would, which really I'm sure you could. I mean, it's not too small that you couldn't do it. But if you wanted to, you'd have to do some modifications there because it's all solid plastic. Deflector dish. Here's a secondary hull. Again, some really nice detail in here. Get it? We can just catch it. Sorry about my lighting. But it's really nice. Here's the supports for the engine. It's a solid one piece. A lot of tabs on it. I don't know why they put those there, but they're there. Have to do some cleanup. But it really shouldn't take long to put together. The instruction sheet, very simple. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, and you're done. That's all there is to it. Most of the ship is done with decals. If you look at the decals, you got 2 sheets of decals. From what I understand, this isn't a lot of decals compared to some of the ships, but for a ship this scale, it's quite a lot in my opinion. The decals, or the sheet, is very detailed in the description of where all the locations go, as opposed to most of the other Enterprise kits, which are usually, you know, an off-white, light gray, whatever color. This has got a lot of colors in it. You know, you've got it looks like a light gray, and then you got some light powder blue, and then you get some pinstriping, a darker blue rim. There's a lot of intricate colors. And then it's got the Aztecs on here. I'm sure somebody that's really skilled can probably make this look really good by painting it themselves. Someday maybe, but for me right now, I'm just going to put it together, and I'm going to use the decal sheet that came with it. I'm actually kind of curious to see how it works out, to be honest with you. So, shouldn't take that long, and it's going to end up being, I think it's going to be a nice model that's going to sit on the desk, you know, my work desk or something like that, by the computer monitor. It's going to look pretty cool. It's a very interesting shaped ship. Also, you can see the different characteristics from the other Enterprises. The really large saucer from, you know, from the D, the lower section from the B model, you know, along with the pylons and engines and stuff like that. I like this ship. You know, like I said, it only appeared in 1 episode, but I do like the way it looks. I think it's pretty sharp. This gives you a better look at all the different colors that go into the saucer section, and all the color that goes into the nacelles. Up here you can see the Aztecs on the hulls, lower section. A lot of decals. But it should be fun. And again, it's not going to be a very long, drawn-out kit, I don't think. It should go along pretty quick. So, stick around, and we'll get to the building phase. Alright, guys. As I explained before, this kit should go together very quickly, and here's where we're at so far. 2 halves of the saucer section been snapped together and glued in place. The seam is really tight. I'm not going to really have, maybe just a little touch of sanding around it to smooth it out, but no filler can be needed here at all. It went together very well. On the secondary hull, again, went together very well. The seam for these parts goes right down this recess, so it's hidden pretty well.
Dive into Labor Day with up to 50% off hotels at Travelocity.
Reflector edition. This is really nice because it came with a part for a stand. Now it doesn't come with a post or a stand itself, but it has the part for it. So, but I need a little sanding here for the seam work here. The rest of it I don't think you're going to notice, except maybe around here, around the shuttle bay. I'll have to work on that a little bit. This will end up simply lays in here. I'm sorry, my hand's in the way. It just kind of lays in here, and if I push it back this way towards the rear of the ship, it snaps in place. Because of the amount of decals and the size of the decals, I'm not going to snap these 2 pieces together until after the decals are on. I just think it's going to be a lot easier to manipulate and handle the ship without the other pieces being on when you're working with it. So, so far so good. Very nice. I did come into a snag with the nacelles. Put the nacelles together, and there was some ugly gaps down the center of this, and it really kind of sucks because you've got all this rib detail here and everything, and the seam down the center just kind of breaks it up, and there was holes. Spent a lot of time trying to fill it. I gotta give it another coat of primer, and see if how good of a job I've done. Because if you don't do a good job at this point, even with the decals covering everything, the seam's still going to show through. So I have to work on that a little bit more. This one, I took a different tact. Whereas normally what I do is I clean the parts really good, put them together, and like in this case, there was some gaps along the seam that had to be filled, then sanded. What I did with this one instead, tried to do something that I learned from some guys that do figures, and they were telling me that you use this glue. Now this is the same glue I used to use when I was a kid. Matter of fact, my cousins and when we built the models, this is the glue we used, and it was always a big challenge to use this glue and not get it everywhere, fingerprints on your model. So as I got older and had the means, I got rid of this glue and went to the liquid stuff, where of course now I use stuff like this, which is kind of a in between of the pure liquid and this gel stuff. But what they were telling me with this is you take this glue and you put it along the seam of your part, and you kind of put it, I wouldn't say heavy, but you put on a decent amount. Then when you take the two parts and put them together and sandwich them, the glue will, like when we were kids, will ooze out all around the part. In this case, it's going to ooze out around here like so. So when it happens though, squeeze them together nice and tight. I put these in some clamps, clamped it together, and the glue oozed out, and I just put it aside. Don't touch it, okay? Then when it dries, as opposed to this one where I had to fill everything and then sand it, this one, it was already filled. The glue filled it as it came out. Then all I did is I took my knife with the back of it and I kind of scraped it down a little bit, and I worked in between these ribs and then got the sandpaper. But I didn't have to fill anything because the glue, putting the extra glue in there, the gel, acted as a filler, so I didn't have to add any. So they both still need work. Neither is perfect by any means, but this one definitely came together a lot quicker than this one did. So it's my trick of the day. So that's where we are. Basically, we're ready for some primer on these parts. Same with this one, but these are going to require some more sanding. Now I came against a little bit of a problem. Not a big problem. If you've watched my videos, you've seen in the beginning of my videos, I always joke about being the ADD builder. If you don't know what that is, it's such a common term nowadays, thrown around to every kid in the world. What it is attention deficit disorder. In other words, basically, I can be doing something like this, and then I see something fly by, and ooh, something shiny, and I lose my attention to what I'm doing. I picked this kit because I was looking for a nice, easy, quick build. I get it done, so I have a completion under my belt to make myself feel good. Because every time I do it, usually do a kit, it gets a little involved and time drags on and I lose interest. So I was hoping for something quick. That said, I started doing this, and my problem was that it wasn't fulfilling my needs. It was just a basic kit, and I needed to do something extra. Sorry about that interruption. I had a dog issue upstairs. Anyway, as I was saying, I was building the kit, and it's a great little kit. I recommend it to anybody. But I was getting a little bored because, I don't know, I was just getting bored with it. It just wasn't doing it for me. And I was thinking about it on my way to work one day, and I decided it'd be really cool if I made it like it was in yesterday's Enterprise, with the battle damage and everything. So I decided, you know what? That's what I need to do. I need to do that detail work and that you know, all that stuff. Problem is, even though it's snapped together, I already glued it together. So to do the damage, you know, and add the detail to the damage, I can't, because it's glued together. Same with the secondary hull. So hemming and hawing and deciding what to do, and well, I have an illness like most of us out there, and I went to Hobby Lobby and I bought another one of these kits. So now I have 2 of them. 2. Here's the other one. Now this one I'm going to take and I'm going to make it battle damaged. Now this one is, I'm still going to build it the way it is. This way I'll have them side by side. You can see it before and after. But the other one will give me the ability to do a little creativity to it. So that's where I am right now. So I have another kit in the box I'm going to start soon. Sorry, ADD kicked in. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, that's it. So this has turned into a 2 enterprise build. Not actually the knockoff kit that I was hoping for. It's going to be a little bit more involved now, because I'm going to be doing 2 kits at once. 1 battle damaged and 1 pristine. So stick around. I'm going to try to finish off these nacelles, bring the other kit up to speed with this, and we'll start doing some battle damage on that one. Alright, till next time, be strong.